The next item of business is an urgent question, which has been selected by the presiding officer, and that will be taken now. As a consequence, decision time will be somewhat later than originally planned, and members will be kept informed of that in the course of the afternoon. Can I call Daniel Johnson to ask the urgent question?
To ask the Scottish Government what support it is providing to the retail sector in light of reports that thousands of jobs are at risk as Christmas approaches.
Minister Jamie Hepburn.
This is an extremely challenging time for the retail sector and a worrying time for those facing job loss and an uncertain future, particularly so close to Christmas. Every job lost or under threat is a concern. We've sought to mitigate the impact on businesses, including retail businesses, throughout this pandemic. This has included supportive measures totalling over £38 billion, including business support grants and non-domestic rates relief. In the event that any person is sadly facing redundancy, we are providing support for employees through our continuing partnership action for continuing employment. Through providing skills development and employability support, PACE aims to minimise the time individuals are out of work.
Daniel Johnson.
I thank the Minister for that answer, and I remind the Chamber of my register of interest as a director of a company with retail interest and a member of the Shop Workers Union, USDAW. Yesterday's news that Debenhams has collapsed, coming days after the Arcadia Group being placed in administration, signals that the fears that many had that the retail industry is facing a catastrophic set of factors this winter have been borne out. Retail is the biggest single private sector employer, meaning that thousands of workers are now facing Christmas with the worry that they may not have a job in the new year. So can I ask the Minister, what steps has the Government taken in light of these events to support retailers and retail workers? Can I ask if he has held meetings with retail employers and retail unions? And is the Government looking at specific policy and fiscal interventions, such as further use of non-domestic rates regime for retail businesses in Tier 4 areas who are unable to trade?
Minister.
Well, in relation to the point around engagement with retailers and representatives of the workforce, I can assure Daniel Johnson that I meet regularly with the Scottish Retail Consortium, Scottish Chambers of Commerce, Federation of Small Businesses, Scottish Grocers Federation, and of course, on behalf of the workforce, I meet USDAW and the GMB regularly as well to discuss these matters. In terms of the support that we are deploying right now through the framework, I would of course remind him that at level 4, essential retail continues, non-essential retail can only continue with, of course, click and collect services. But for those businesses who have to close, we are providing grants of up to £3,000 every 4 weeks. In terms of going forward, of course, we'll continue to consider what further support that we can deploy. But these are also matters that will be the concerted focus of the retail strategy I'll be taking forward in due course, which, of course, all the partners I mentioned earlier will have a critical role to play in forming.
Daniel Johnson.
I thank the Minister for that answer, but it's clear that while it's clear that many of the problems facing the retail industry pre-existed the pandemic, it certainly accelerated processes that were already underway, with many stating that the retail industry is facing 5 to 10 years of change in 5 to 10 months. So further to my previous question, for businesses in level 4 areas that are simply unable to trade, can I ask the following? Can the Minister detail what work the Government has undertaken to assess the economic impact of these level 4 restrictions on retail, and can he commit to providing more detailed scientific information on the role shopping may or may not play in the transmission of the virus? Because while it may be large retailers in the headlines, for independent retailers who do not sell essential items and with no online presence, they are in effect being locked out of trading at a time of year that they rely on to keep themselves going through the rest of the year.
Minister.
Well, of course, I recognise and understand the last point that Daniel Johnson has made. Presiding Officer, I recognise this as an important time of year, and I would, of course, make a point that none of us want to see businesses closed for any longer than they have to be. But public health, of course, is the paramount concern at this moment in time. In terms of his questions around the economic impact, that's something the Office of the Chief Editor is helping us gather information. I'll speak with that office to see what further detail we can provide. In relation to some of the scientific evidence, I will pick that up with relevant colleagues and see what other information we can deploy.
Supplementary question, John Mason.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. There clearly has been a move towards online shopping, and that's been exacerbated by the pandemic. So can the government say anything about supporting small businesses in our high streets, especially as we come up to Small Business Saturday this week?
Minister.
Well, as Mr Mason has mentioned, we are seeing a transfer of activity to online from in-store shopping. That was something that was happening already. If anything, COVID-19 has sought to exacerbate that. Our retail strategy, which I mentioned in response to Daniel Johnson, has a role to play there, but so too do other initiatives that we're taking forward. I would remind members of the £22 million that we've provided to towns and business improvement districts since March alone. We're undertaking a town centre review that will report in due course. These things will be important as well, but he's right to highlight Small Business Saturday as coming up. That's an important reminder of the importance of small businesses to the Scottish economy. And in that sense, our Scotland Loves Local campaign is really important as well, encouraging people who safely support their local businesses to support their local economies. And that's something I would urge every member to get behind and to promote.
And supplementary question, Maurice Golden.
Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. My thoughts are with those faced with losing their job. This news is further evidence of the hurricane hammering the Scottish retail sector. With that in mind, will the Scottish Government provide early assurance they won't expect every shop to return to full business rates liability next April?
Minister.
Well, I would observe that the news is, of course, very disappointing. It isn't just impacting here in Scotland. The news we've seen with Debenhams and Arcadia is not just a Scottish phenomenon, it is happening elsewhere. In terms of the range of support we'll deploy, we continue to try and roll out support and consider what support we need to deploy to support the retail sector. And in terms of other fiscal measures we might take, we will consider that and set that out in due course as part of the usual budget process.
Thank you very much. That concludes the urgent question, and we will move on in a moment to the next item of business.